Welcome back, everyone, to episode 2 of Students of the Game. Today, I am joined here by my roommate, actually, MrDavisTV, David Palmer. Welcome to the show, Dave.
Thank you for having me. It's a very big privilege as one of a member of two members of the team in the esports. It's a great honor to be here. I messed it up very badly.
That did sound really rough, but that's where we're at right now, and hence why this video is even being recorded right now. If there was like 4 or 5 teams like there has been in the past, I would not have the time for this. But very thankful to be granted the time and resources. Granted, I just kind of gathered what I had, like a hunter-gatherer type, and brought my resources to capacity to accommodate. Also, we're gonna try to talk softer today to eliminate echo, because I've come to realize I don't have the funding in order to reduce echo. So we are going with a different means of eliminating sound. So if we talk a bit quiet, that's why. It's my only remedy for it, because I don't have the money to pay for services to do that for me. All right. Anyways, so
I have an interjection.
Yeah.
Your hunter-gatherer comment is very funny because we're also nomads, since we're constantly living.
Actually are.
living
Yeah.
on the
Yeah. So actually, we'll start off with that. Quick story time. I mentioned this is like a teaser from the last podcast, or last one I did last week with Tyler. I mentioned our room flooded. Well, now that I have my roommate on, we can kind of discuss this a little bit. So last Tuesday, it is currently Wednesday the 24th. I had the
It's been
video.
over a week now. It's just ridiculous.
I had the video of the one that went up today. I had that and an email that I wanted to send out to Jamie. I had those both scheduled for tomorrow because I thought today was the 25th.
Attaboy.
So I put those out both out late. But yeah, last Tuesday, and as of today, last Tuesday, we had to leave our room in the hall we were staying in, because our room flooded from the room above us. I don't even know what really happened. I was told like a pipe burst in like a toilet or something. I don't really know, but so we've been living in what's referred to as center hall. It is a house that has like 10 rooms. That's just bedrooms, not much less the kitchen that has a Minecraft stairwell. I'll put a picture down here. I've been looking for more things to put over here, so we'll throw a picture of the stairs in there, at least as best as I can, because they look horrid. But
No, they're perfect.
We have a kitchen now. I mean, it's crazy. So yeah, we've been literally nomads for a week. Yeah,
Pretty much the whole semester, because other than moving in early, which I did, because for esports I moved in early.
Yeah, to get ready for the season.
But like you didn't, so you were there for like 2 days, and all of a sudden you're just displaced for weeks on end now.
Yeah, so we might not ever get back in there. They may end up locking down the building and getting everyone evacuated. And it wasn't quite that bad. I mean, the people below us, somehow we had this talk yesterday that our floor was like Atlas holding up the globe on his back.
Our floor was standing on business.
Like standing on business. I will not let you pass. Like the water somehow didn't really sink down, but it came out of my smoke alarm.
That's so ridiculous.
Came out of Ben's. Oh, actually, I'm gonna play the clip right now.
Then he's like, "Give me the nano in your whole team."
I'm done.
You don't have to aim to nano blade. Aren't you a coach? Oh, you don't have to aim. Like, you do know that?
Zaynard, I want you to understand, if you go in and you kill 4 of them,
Hang on,
you still
chat.
lose. Do you understand? Do you get that?
They only have 4 on their team.
You still would have lost.
No, wait, I gotta go. My fire, what is that thing called? You know the thing that pours out water when it's leaking.
Leaking?
Yeah. Well,
Wait, really?
yeah. That was fun. GG's.
Wait, open your mouth. Drink it.
I'll see you guys later.
Water's
GG's.
so moldy, probably.
For the content,
Goodbye.
drink it.
Yeah, I gotta go. What the? Flash.
All right, so we're back. The clip right there that you just saw was one of my other roommates, Ben. I'll have him on the show in a few weeks as well. That was him midstream getting confused about what was happening when he found out his sprinkler was leaking water. And then eventually it led to his light leaking, led to his something else. I think his smoke alarm also had water coming out of it. I might throw a couple pictures down here too. I mean, we don't really have pictures, we have videos, but either way.
Cheerios.
Yeah, Bryce lost his box of Cheerios. We lost our trash can that we still haven't gotten back. I mean, we yesterday
My
we had
trash can. What the heck? They stole my trash can.
yeah, dude. They stole they stole the trash can. I mean, it's been rough. Yesterday we had to venture and clean out some of the Elon Musky towels that were used to clean up some of the water.
Oh, that reminds me. I think both of my bags are done. I don't think.
I was gonna say put them in the washer.
I did
but
already. So I let them dry. So we hung them. I hung them. I had my bags, like two just travel bags. I have like a drawstring bag and such. I just had them. They got wet in the flood, but I didn't dry them off right away or whatever. Like I just kind of forgot about them because we put them in the bags with our towels that we were using as well. So I just let them hang up in our washing area, and I had checked on them. They were dry, but they still smelled. So I put them in the washer, washed them, and then I took them out to dry again. And I think they still smell. So I think my bags are done for. So I'll have to talk to.
We'll see what we can do about that.
Yeah,
there's no business being stood on there apparently by the bags. Unfortunately, they didn't survive. Surprisingly, by the way, outside of the box of Cheerios, those those are the only things that were destroyed, as far as I know.
Yeah,
we had 3 PCs in the room, and then Bryce, one of our other roommates that will never be on the show. Unfortunately, he's not really an esports guy. Sorry, Bryce, but his Xbox, none of it got touched. So. Thankful for that, but
Facts.
I mean, still, it's an ordeal. We've at minimum we moved back in this weekend, and I'm really busy this weekend. My whole weekend's booked out, so I don't know. It's just a mess. Let's transition back. Yesterday, you guys had your first match of the spring semester. 7-0 against a team that realistically you shouldn't have played against. I'll be outward about it. NECC did not understand a single thing about scheduling. I mean, they messed up. Not only did they mess up scheduling 2 matches, they waited at 7:45. They said, "Oh, we scheduled matches for 8." We just they're like, "Oh, we just now scheduled matches for 8 p.m." 1, that cannot happen. 2, the second match that we played, same thing, except. We already knew about it, but team was just it's nothing. Not a knock to them. By the way, West Virginia University Tech. I said this on stream. Not a knock to them. Just NECC. What are you doing? You have 5 game managers for Rainbow, or 3 for Rainbow. This needs to be dealt with. Anyways. Thoughts after that 7-0 last night?
So honestly, it was a blessing in disguise. That's what I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, obviously, we steamrolled them. I mean, they are just not on par with us as a team.
Exactly.
That happens. It's collegiate esports. It's not pro tier 1.
Mm-hmm.
Not all teams are going to be
thankfully
great. It'd be like my freshman year. That team and this team now as a junior are so much different.
Oh yeah,
it's not comparable just because we're LVC then, LVC now. It doesn't mean we're the same team or even the same style team. We were in emergence my freshman year, and now we're champions divisional winner. So
yeah, almost at Legends level, right under it.
Yeah, so
because there's no promotion tournament for Rainbow Six.
Yeah, and I don't think we would be there anyways. But
yeah, it would be close.
If there was, we'd play in it, obviously.
Well, yeah, you would have had to.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had a choice.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a little bit of a blessing in disguise because it's a great warm up for us because you can play very loose. You don't have to stick to the script.
Yeah, exactly.
As I like to say it in our team, stick to the script of the straps. Yeah. But a blessing in disguise because you can kind of figure out other things to do on Clubhouse. That's the map we played. And also the other team reached out to me about the possibility of teaching them some stuff about R6. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's kind of where I want to go with R6 and like content. So it's pretty cool.
That is actually kind of cool. I didn't expect that actually.
Yeah, it was like late last night after the game. Like 3 of them added me on Discord. I was like, whoa, why am I so famous?
Oh yeah, wait, what happened?
And their captain reached out to me. He was like, "Where do you guys get your strats? You guys are so good." I was like, "Oh, we do kind of different things. We kind of take them from Pro League. We kind of make our own strats. Yeah, we adapt other things that are kind of needed for us." And so I kind of had a small conversation with them. But yeah, I think a couple others reached out about playing ranked and other stuff with me, and I was like, possibly, like, just I don't know. I told them we could set up a meeting, and I could like kind of coach them.
We can set up a meeting.
Yeah,
set up a meeting.
so
Dude,
kind of like coach them.
I could see them. I could see them learning though. I mean, you did kind of have to tell them to break the mirror, but I mean, hey, I could see them learning in real time. I'll give them props. I respect that they played. I respect that they weren't like I'm not gonna name them, but the other team you guys played in Ace that just complained the entire series about playing you guys. Like,
I don't even remember what team. I remember someone complaining. I don't remember what team that was, so I couldn't name them if I wanted to.
well, I could. I know way too many things off the top of my head, but at least they weren't like that, and that they're willing to learn as well. Not that
That's the big thing for me. It's like
yeah,
you guys knew you were outclassed, and yet you still
you still
look
wanna
up
know.
to us to like
Yeah,
figure stuff out. Like,
and
you're not
I
sitting
respect the
there
hell out
blaming
of them for that.
facts,
I'll give them that.
yeah, that is awesome. I love
but-
stuff like that.
Moving away from just last night, obviously, I mean, this whole semester's been scuffed. I mean, even your scrims got scuffed somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, scrims got scuffed, house broke.
Nowhere to live.
Nowhere to live, no one to scrim.
Yeah, no one to practice.
no one to play matches against apparently because we forgot to schedule the second match.
Yeah, like it's been ridiculous.
So past the scuff, no sponsorship unfortunately, and even so wouldn't work. What are the goals with this team, especially considering you guys are obviously coming off a national championship, the first in LVC history outside of the men's basketball team in 1991, and the divisional title win as well? What are the goals at this point of this team?
I always struggle with goals because it's a measurable thing. Like, obviously, I can sit here and say, "Oh, we want to win another national championship. Oh, we want to win another divisional title," but it just really depends on what we're doing. Honestly, for me personally, my biggest goal this semester is to qualify for the Queen City Clash, which is the LAN at UC.
Cincinnati.
Yeah. So that's my big goal. Obviously, like I said before, obviously as a team, we want to win another national championship and another divisional, but it's too early to tell with stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
You never really know. Like, we have the same roster, but you never really know where the team is sitting
Yeah,
in comparison to other teams.
it's a weekend. It's like a week by week
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. It's like it's not gonna like ruin our lives if we don't win another championship.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it doesn't really like improve our lives that much either if we do. So it's kind of there's a lot of different goals that you can have. Like, as a player, I have a goal of just like chilling out during our games a bit, not like super like getting
Not
super
as, like,
pissy and
uptight and-
not super
yeah.
uptight. Kind of just like chilling out, lower the stress level for myself because obviously it's already very hard to compete. You don't need those internal pressures of, oh, I have to top frag, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. So that's something that I've really been working on because it becomes a lot more stressful when at the end of the day you're just playing video games, but it can be very stressful. So yeah, personally, it's just becoming a lot more chill. Just kind of the results happen. Doesn't matter if I went 1-17.
yeah,
Or
exactly.
stuff like that. Because I used to really harp on myself with that stuff, and it just made me hate esports. There was like a whole semester where I thought I was done with esports after that semester because it was so like
I was
frustrating to me, and it was so. But I'm just kind of chilling out now, just kind of enjoying in the moment with the team, because like it's really starting to hit me, especially with our 2 seniors, that we're done. Like, especially with the Senate, because he's the only original member of the team with me.
Yeah.
So we've been teaming for 3 years now, and that'll be the longest I've ever teamed with someone.
Yeah. So actually, this is actually going to come in later, but you got a great transition into it. So how how did this team even get to this point? Because obviously you're pretty much the only person really to come into this school, this ski, and basically make your own team, kind of not brute force, but kind of just bring in who you could, and you've come and built this roster essentially on your own. So can you kind of talk me through a little bit about how that even happened to begin with?
Yeah. So if you want to go by chronologically, I was a swimmer first before even thinking about esports. Yeah, esports wasn't even a thought in my mind during the recruiting process for swimming in high school. So I'd look at all these different like MAC D3 schools to kind of look for swimming because that's just the caliber of swimmer I was. And then while just my dad one day came up to me, he was like, "Oh, this school, I can't remember his school. It wasn't LVC at first. It was like, this school has esports. You play a lot of video games. And
Was it Misericordia?
No,
I remember we had this conversation.
It wasn't them because they didn't really have.
Oh
esports
no, yeah,
at the
they
time.
didn't, and they still don't.
Yeah, they have very little teams. They might have like they have Smash. I know that. Yeah. That's like it though. I can't. What school was it? I can't remember. But my dad was like, "Oh, they have esports, and you could swim there." And I was like, "Oh, like, okay, maybe." I've never really played competitively in high school. I played like maybe on like one or two teams, and it really wasn't anything special. So I don't really consider it playing. So that kind of like put a seed in my mind. Oh, maybe I can pursue two of my passions, which were swimming and esport, like not esports, gaming. At that point, it was gaming.
It was gaming, not
At that point, it was gaming. So as we're narrowing down my college search, I get down to two, and that is here, Lebanon Valley, and like you said earlier, Misericordia. Misericordia doesn't have an esports team. They're about level on the same amount of like tuition costs because that matters.
It does
That
matter,
matters.
especially at D3.
That is the biggest. That should be your biggest thing, in my opinion, if you're not going to a big school. Obviously, I could swim on both teams, but LVC had esports, and Misericordia didn't, and that was one of the influences on picking LVC. So we get there. I fill out the recruiting form. Or not. We're not there yet. I fill out the recruiting forms. I get in contact with our program director. He goes, "Oh, we have R6 team." It wasn't really a lie, I guess. I don't know what I would constitute it though. He's like, "Oh, we have R6. We have."
You don't have to lie to the camera, because we both know there was not a team at that time.
Well, we know there wasn't.
There
a team,
was
but
interest in a team at
Here's
Max.
okay. I was told that there was a team coming in here.
Yeah, and my team was told that I was a player, not a coach, and I was like a top amateur level player. So you see where that's gone.
So we like to bend the truth a little bit.
We do like to goof around a little bit.
So I get here, one of my first days, and the first day of freshman year classes is like our yearly esports meeting that we didn't have this year because
We haven't had that in like a year or two.
we had
We
it.
didn't have it last year
Yeah,
either
we
because
did.
no, Elliot sent out a message. I think that was it.
Yeah, that was for this fall.
Oh, it was for
Yeah.
this. Yeah,
'Cause
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it was for this.
Because it's always in Chapel 101.
Yeah, I know. It's the only room that could fit the whole team at the time. Well, now you could fit in a normal classroom.
Yeah.
But anyways.
So we have it, and there's like no R6 players. Like I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Hey, what game do you play?" Like, "Hey, what's your name?" Like just meeting people. I've never met anyone on the team before.
Yep.
Oh, what do you play? Oh, I play Overwatch. Oh, I play this. Oh, do you know where the R6 players are? We don't have an R6.
Yeah, we have R6.
Yeah.
When did we get that?
I said, "Oh, well, like I was recruited to play R6 here."
Huh.
So then I'm thinking,
There's a certain lack of Rainbow Six here.
yeah. So we're going through the meeting, and that's actually where I meet Jack because after the meeting he goes up to talk to Elliot, probably about starting a team. I wasn't there for the conversation. It was a one-on-one conversation, and I like heard R6 being said. So I go up. I was like, "Hey, my name's David," and he's like, "He's Jack." So that's kind of where the seed really started. Is like, oh, okay, I kind of need to take the reins of this, or we're not gonna play this semester. And
Yeah.
you come in with the knowledge you're gonna play that semester, so you really want to make that happen. So it was me and Jack, the Senate, and then obviously because I'm swimming, I just picked some people that I met through swimming that had played console Xbox, like console Siege. Oh my gosh! And we had to convert them to PC, so they had to come to the esports room, make R6 accounts for PC, and then get to level 50 so that you can get ranked.
Yeah.
And that took us like 2 or 3 weeks. And those guys
process.
were playing like I'll give them props because those guys were literally playing like 15, 16 hours a day of Siege while being freshmen in college.
Yeah, a freshman too.
Like,
Not
yeah,
even
like,
if you were
oh
like a
my
junior,
God.
like okay, you can make that work. But like as a freshman coming in, dude, like
Yeah, like you've never like been to college, you don't know how to do anything.
what the hell you're doing?
Yeah,
Like
and they're like grinding in and out just to get to level 50 so that we have the possibility of playing. Which, like I said, I do respect that out of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, after that we started it, and then the main league that the program played in at the time, NACE. Didn't have Siege. So you're not playing anyways because we don't have a league for you to play in. Elliot, like a week later, goes, "Oh, we found this league called NECC. We've never played in it before. They have R6 though, so you
I
can
didn't
play
even
it."
think about that.
Yeah, so my team was actually the reason that LVC went to the NECC.
Which is, as much as I shit on them at the start of this, still I would argue close to better than NACE, at least in terms of structure. In terms of proper management, that's different, but
Yeah, I mean every league has its flaws,
exactly.
but the NECC
There's
will
nothing
always
perfect.
stay in my heart because they've given me a place to compete. So that was huge for me. Was I was able to compete because of NECC.
Exactly.
So I never can really hate on them that much.
Exactly. I only shit on them because
It's out of love.
I don't. Well, that too. I don't play. I've played in like what 5, 6 matches. I've played in what like 3 or 4 COD playoff matches. I've played in 1 match for you, and I played in 1 match for Valorant. Like, and that's it. By the way, I shouldn't be playing in Valorant. I shouldn't be playing in Rainbow Six. I shouldn't be playing in COD. I shouldn't be playing at all, and I still did. I actually almost played for Rocket League Team 3. I was on call. I was actually told this is a fucking hilarious story. I was told one day, Team 3 was playing, and I was their sub, and I get a DM like from, I think it was like Jordan or something. He's like, yo, I think we need you tonight. Like, I don't think one of the players, I don't remember who, I don't think they can make it. I'm pretty sure you have to play tonight. And I think it was like a playoff game again. And I'm like, guys.
I feel like I actually remember that because that was last year. No,
It was.
Yeah, I feel like because we were friends at that.
Yeah, oh,
Again, we
yeah.
weren't friends my freshman year either.
Well, yeah. That'll be brought up. Definitely be brought up at some point.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? I mean, the nice thing was that's the only team I could have competed on, Rocket League Team 3 last year, because I was like I was Diamond 2, Champ 1, but in that range. So like, so was the rest of the team. So I at least could have competed with that. But like, I'm the streamer. I'm the media guy. Like, it's just ridiculous. I can't, like, the amount I have played for what my actual job is ludicrous. Like, I'm like half an assistant director, and I've played despite not having any actual tangible skill whatsoever, other than sitting in a corner with Capcan and getting him banned for the rest of a series against a Division 1 school. Like, that's it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was gonna say you're like level 15 in Siege.
I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I don't. It's
You're definitely not rank level.
no, I don't. No, definitely not. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Anyways, going back to the story of our Rainbow Six team. Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. It was crazy too, because like I was not in the know at the time, especially because that was when I was only coaching Call of Duty, and I think I was like casting their games, because that was like right as Tyler was coming to me and being like, dude, I want to play Rocket League again. Why'd you quit? Well, I just didn't really want to play the game, like whatever. And so I picked up streaming for him, and then I remember that fateful night, Rainbow Six, NECC Emergence divisional title game against the Reapers of Lemon Valley Rainbow Six. But yeah, I remember that fateful night, the Emergence. I don't remember the name.
It was just Emergence.
Oh yeah, because they didn't have divisions at the time for Rainbow. It was the Emergence championship game, best of 5. The series was supposed to start at like 6 p.m. 6 or 7, I think, and then NECC had huge delays. It was bad. It started at like
10.
8. It was 10.
Yeah.
It started at like 9, 8 or 9. Yeah,
No, because it was scheduled for 9:30,
oh,
and
yeah.
the game before it went to all 5 maps as well.
Yeah.
So it was only like ready at like 10.
Yeah, and I was just starting social media from taking over from Cade, and so I didn't know a single person in there. I didn't even know. I knew Jack. I knew him because Tyler had talked about him. I never seen him in person, so when I had heard Jack, I was like, oh, I guess that's the guy. And you guys were sitting in the back of the room, so now they sit over here to my left. That's where they sit at this point in time. But they used to sit in the back.
That's actually my favorite spot we've ever sat in.
It is. And you guys, honestly, the TV's back there. You could throw your strap book up there and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. Anyways, yeah. And I was sitting there. It's like 2. The series didn't end until like 3 or 4 a.m. No.
It was like 3 a.m.
It went all 5 maps, and every game was like super close. And at one point, I just remember Jake screaming his head off. I don't even know why. I mean, I know why he was mad. It was like 2 in the morning, and it was like, why are we still playing? But like, oh my God, that was maybe the most excruciating pain in my entire life. I was so bored. I didn't understand the game. I didn't know anyone.
Yeah, you're just sitting there just like, good job, guys.
And I wasn't the kid that I am now, and I still call myself a kid. I'm aware I'm 22 years old. I still say that, but I was like a sophomore, and I didn't know what to do. I was not awkward, but I wouldn't go out of my way to talk to a team if I had to. So I would sit there in between maps. I'd walk up to Jack and talk to him so quietly that like no one else could hear me other than Jack. And I'm just like, dude, this is looking rough. And he's just sitting there, looks back at me. Yeah. And that was his response. That was my first experience with you guys, and it was really weird because, and I'll admit it, not stigma, but the thoughts around your guys' team was not good at the time because of the players that were on it. And,
I know.
And I felt bad. Like, I felt terrible. I was like sitting there that whole night, and I'm like, I understand where it comes from, but it's unwarranted. But we also had different people in that program at the time, and now, I mean, pretty much everyone's friends with each other, or at least they know of each other's existence, and they respect each other. So I'm glad we've been able to build that properly.
Yeah, I try to keep pretty positive PR of my team. It's a lot easier with the members of my team now than they were
those days.
My freshman year.
Which, for reference, pretty much every single one of the players on that team, outside of Dave and Jack, played League of Legends after, so that should say something. Which, respect to Panda, by the way, he was a freshman in the exact same position as you, started the League of Legends team, transferred out, not because of the League of Legends team, but because of academic stuff. It didn't have what he wanted and whatever. But major respect to him. I haven't even spoken to that kid in years, but yeah. Anyways, but yeah, that was a wild time, I will say. I mean, crazy.
Yeah, I drank like 3 Red Bulls that night, and my girlfriend was asleep on my feet for like the past 3 maps.
Yeah,
we lost a map. We lost a map 8-7.
Yeah,
and the whole that was the 4th map. We lost to 8-7.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yes, because my whole team just like gave up after that.
Yeah. So
we got 7-0'd the last map too. I'm pretty sure.
A hell of a journey too. A great story in my opinion, honestly, because you went from that to going into the national playoffs. You had lost in divisional semifinals to Nova in the spring semester of last year, and when you were expected to at least make the finals, especially because you beat Nova earlier in the year, which that school is a total fluke. I'm sorry, anyone that goes to Nova, they don't even exist this year. I don't even think they played this year. They beat our Rocket League team when they were undefeated, and they beat you guys.
Wasn't that in like the same week too?
It was the same week, and they had both beaten you guys, and they both looked insanely sketchy.
Yeah, they squad wiped our school.
They had one player that on each of those teams, they had one player that all of a sudden just magically looked like a pro player that was an absolute half bum in the regular season.
Yeah, they had some random guy that just had like the best series of his entire life.
Yeah, and that happened to both Rocket League and Rainbow Six. I sat there after Rocket League had lost, because you guys had lost first,
Yeah.
and they did. I sat there like this after the series, and I was like, bro, what just like? I just witnessed a double breakdown. I witnessed the crumbling of an organization at like a level I thought was unheard of.
Yeah, for that like 1 week, that
To
school
one
just
school.
absolutely owned us.
Yeah, we got owned by Northern Virginia Community College, and now I don't even think they have teams. So
Yeah,
I don't know what happened there, but hey, they played good for 1 week, 1 week only.
that's all that matters.
They slammed us. So kind of going away from all of that, now you guys, of course, are not only national champions looking for a back-to-back national championship. You've already qualified for nationals again because you won, because of what happened last semester. You went off of winning a national title to finally getting that divisional title into your hands. You somehow won a natty before a divisional title. I don't know how that happened, but what if those titles? I know you kind of mentioned like it's not really about the winning. It's about the understanding and all of that of yourselves and teammates and all that. But I asked this question to Tyler, and I think it's important to ask you as well. What have the titles really meant to you, both as a player, as a person, and as a team? What have they meant to you?
Oh, well, how do I answer this question honestly?
However you want.
All right,
I'm
there's
not
like
answering it.
there's like so as a program, in my opinion, the titles mean a lot because we can do a lot with that to kind of strengthen the school and the program, and through none of your fault, in my opinion, we have not really captured that market that we should have gotten from. And it's not your fault.
I have some notes.
It's not your fault.
I know. I have some notes about that.
In my opinion, we have not really captured the amount of media presence of the market that we should have captured from winning a lot of these titles.
Yeah, I would agree.
Again, we bring a lot to a table for a player, but we also don't bring a lot to a table for a player.
Yep.
We do it better than most, but then we fail in other areas, which is just so terrible that it's almost not worth it. So, in my opinion, we have not, as a player, it saddens me that we have not been able to do a lot with the titles. Personally, so as a player of the program, I should say, it saddens me that we've not been able to elevate this program with the people we have. We absolutely should. We have better teams than most schools.
Yeah.
But I'll lay off that now. As a player on the R6 team, it means a lot to win. Obviously, we come here to win. We're not scrimming and practicing for nothing. We don't.
I'd hope not.
I don't make all these stupid contracts with my players so that we can go and lose and do all this corny, stupid stuff about running a team.
Yeah.
So that we can lose. I do it so that we can be professional, we can win, and we can show people that we're not just some random bums. We put some pride into having esports and playing esports.
We're not only farming, man. We're gaming farming, man.
Yeah, because I think being esports is not really seen as too professional, especially collegiate esports. It's not really seen as professional, so
That might be half of the cause of that.
So, in my opinion, seeing a relatively professional acting team such as my team win a lot is a big thing for me personally, as like a future marketer. Building a professional brand like that is something that I really enjoy and really like seeing the outcomes of that. So again, seeing from that freshman year team who's not very professional or marketable to the team we have now being very professional, very gracious in our winnings, very gracious in losing. It's a great thing to see.
Yeah.
As MrDavisTV personality, the trophies only mean so much to me because in the grand scheme of Rainbow Six, it's not much.
Yeah.
There's collegiate esports for Rainbow Six is not really comparable to a lot of other titles as they are to like their amateur scenes. So this really doesn't mean that much. You can say like, oh, I've won a national title, but there's guys that have gone to school and then they leave and then they go play in pro league or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's much bigger. Or you have the pros that play pro league, and now they're going to school. So maybe that'll bring collegiate esports into more aligned with the amateur scene of Rainbow Six. But currently it's not too aligned, so it doesn't really mean that much. Like, oh, you're not really
correlate well.
You're not really playing known players in the R6 community.
Yeah,
You're just
unless if you're
like,
playing like that top maybe 2-3 teams, and even then.
Yeah, and even then they're not like they're good players. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah,
they're good players. Most of them on those top teams are better than me, and maybe even better than Plexios. But again, they're not like someone that's changing the game of Rainbow Six. You're not playing Canadian like DZ or stuff like that.
Well,
like you're not playing.
In about 2 years, you're probably going to.
Well, he's like 30. I hope he doesn't go to school. But you're not playing those people that have truly like made an impact in the game of Rainbow Six. Whereas like other games you might. So it doesn't really matter that much. It's cool. But again, since the org keeps the trophies and the pictures, they're hard to get pictures of because they're glass. It doesn't mean much to me. And
I love you, NECC, but you have the least marketable trophies in the history of the world.
Possible to get a picture of them.
Because, dude, I love them. Their designs are gorgeous.
Yeah, they're awesome.
But, man, I need them to not be all glass because I can't see a thing on those on them. Like, I try to have like a background remove version so we can use it in
the hard
images
part
and stuff.
too is like the writing on them sometimes are like that
really
white
thin. Yeah, and it's white font
yeah
on like a glass.
When it should be like the NECC
thing.
blue or something.
I was tempted to actually have like the trophy and the natty trophy sit here,
That'd be cool.
but I don't have a small enough table, and I didn't want to go to Dave's office to go get it because I don't have a key because I'm a student. I'm not allowed to have keys to anything. But yeah, appreciate that honestly because
Oh, I've got more.
oh, you do got more.
Yeah, I do have more.
Well, finish your finish
So
your
then, obviously, my family thinks it's the bee's knees. My family thinks it's the next I'm the next coming of Christ in Rainbow Six, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
that's
I'm
what
like,
that's what I would expect.
oh
honestly.
my dad talks so like, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it. He talks
love Big
so
Favela.
much about my like esports and what we've done and what we've accomplished, and it's awesome. Like, I was in an internship over the summer, and I was working with my dad. He bought me a cake to share with the entire office about our nationals win.
Am I allowed? So, how old was the youngest person that wasn't you in that office? About 40?
No, there's actually there's actually an LVC grad. He's like,
Oh,
I think he graduated my freshman year, so he's like 24, 25.
okay. So it's not. Yeah.
But the next person after that is like 35, 40.
What did they think of that?
They were just like, yeah, esports is cool. I was like, thanks, bro.
I mean, it's tough. I've tried explaining esports to like.
Oh
my
yes, and the
family.
amount of like everyone's like, what's this cake for?
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
and
Right?
the amount of times I had to like explain the
What
esports
cake was for.
ecosystem to like
Yeah.
people that don't really care but they asked because they're nice. Oh, it was
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. So kind of going out of just the trophies, I guess. What is the program itself? Thinking on a bigger level, I guess. What has the program itself meant to you, especially with you having to have started your own team, bring yourself to this point where you're sitting across from me now?
Well, the program. I just need a second to think.
Man,
How do I wanna word
asking this question makes it feel like I like work at LVC and I'm like required to ask this. I'm not. There's no influences. We don't have sponsors because no one's gonna sponsor this. And if you do reach out, I probably won't accept it. But I mean, I'll consider it.
I'll accept
I mean,
it.
it lined my pockets with maybe $5 extra, some clams. But
Some
I don't.
bones
I'm
even.
not. I'm not required to ask anything. It feels like a very. To me, it's a really important question. That's why I ask it, and I'm probably gonna ask it of almost everyone because I asked Tyler, I asked you, especially because with you two, you guys are the captains of your team. So it's to me, it seems like a very important question, especially because you have that elevated role. Not only are you playing for the org, but you're also actively managing part of it for us. So
Yeah. So, okay, I think I figured out how to answer this. org has given me shouldn't say given, pushed me into a situation where I've needed to learn leadership skills, which is a great thing. It sucks getting pushed into doing that, but it's made me a better person because of it. It's put me into a lot of leadership positions, given me a lot of those skills, taught me how to build a team because I've had to learn how to build a team or you weren't playing. It was It was honestly, in my mind, it was that simple. You need to learn how to build a team and create a team environment or you won't be playing, let alone figuring out if it's going to be fun or not.
Yeah.
And honestly, I still am working on, in my opinion, I've got a pretty good way of how to run the team, but making it fun, other than just it's fun playing esports,
Yeah.
has been a pretty big challenge and still is a challenge. People can be challenging. I'm not exactly a very big people person, so it's sometimes challenging to work with different players.
Yeah.
Again, some players are easy to work with, some players are hard to work with.
Yeah. And
Don't need to name drop because it's not like that deep, but
It's but it's
just
just the
sometimes
nature.
you're just like scratching your head and being like, why can't you just do this? So really working around the diverse backgrounds of each of my players, like we have Plexios who will do anything I say. So that's nice. And we have other people that'll fight back, kind of challenge me on stuff. And that's good. It's good to be challenged and not.
I'm still waiting for the MrDavisTV reliable boxing match.
Oh, we'll never
When is
box.
that happening?
We're not going to box this. At the end of the day, like.
Well, no, you can have a friendly boxing match.
I don't want
I mean,
to, though.
I would.
In my opinion, I can't be friendly with that. You either you get in the ring and you want to kill the other person.
Ah, dude,
And I don't like
know.
killing people, so I'll never step in a ring.
I would be okay with a friendly boxing match. I think between myself and myself. Dude, I'm the smallest kid in our program. I would just be asking to get my head kicked in.
Yeah, and I can't fight either. So
You don't need to be able to fight. It's fine. Just throw your arm out there. So, kind of going away from actually one more thing in relation to collegiate. So obviously you do content. You're streamer pretty often. I know sorry, I don't know your schedule off the top of my head. I can barely memorize my
I don't know it
schedule because I
either.
don't have one. Yeah, exactly. So what is the content scene been like as someone within the collegiate scene? And do you have any like advice or thoughts towards content within collegiate esports? This is a question I'll also ask Ben when I have him on.
So that used to be my whole niche, was content for collegiate esports. And in my opinion, there's not an audience for it,
Really?
in my opinion. And also, like, it's truly hard to, like, say that definitively because, again, if I were good at content creation, I'd have millions of followers and stuff like that. That's at least how I see it. I don't really see external things stopping people from making content. So, in my opinion, if I were good at making content, I'd be able to have a lot of followers and stuff like that. So it's a ever-going iterative process, kind of always making videos better, doing all that stuff. Like, again, if Mr. Beast wasn't good at making content, good at keeping people's attention, he wouldn't be as big as he is. So he's good like that. And again, he had done YouTube and all that stuff for so many years before he blew up because, again, you need to learn how to do that stuff. You don't go to college to learn how to make content creation.
Yeah.
And
Honestly,
honestly,
build it
you
yourself,
should.
basically. Yeah.
Because you could.
That could easily be a
I could
major.
teach so many classes on content creation,
Yeah.
and I've like barely hit the surface of content creation.
Exactly. Yeah.
So for collegiate esports, you'd have to find a very, 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 very
Niche.
and unique way in what to talk about.
Yeah.
Because honestly, in my opinion, and in my small bubble of the internet, nobody cares about collegiate esports. So you'd have to figure out a way to make people care. And frankly, I don't think they do because there's so much stigma around esports. People don't like watching inferior players play. That's why Pro League is like cool to watch. You're
Yeah.
seeing the very best of the very best. With collegiate, especially R6, half the times you're just watching people that just play the game and they signed up to be on the team. You're not seeing the best of the best. So it doesn't really matter. And these prize pools aren't like huge either. So it does like you're not fighting for $1 million, so no one cares. Like you're fighting for like $2,000
at most.
Yeah,
And that's
like-
even stretching it a little bit.
It's like no one cares, and it's not like college football where again you're playing the best of the best. And this isn't a feeder system for the pro league either, so it really doesn't matter. You're not seeing the future pros. There will,
Yeah.
in my opinion, there will never be a professional Rainbow Six player that played collegiate for a majority of his underage time.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's where the biggest issue lies with collegiate esports. It needs to be that style. There
Yeah.
needs to be
No
a
one
way
cares about it.
for there needs to be a way for collegiate to lead into the pro league, and right now it's just not happening. And even in COD, where there's at minimum 15 players that should be pro players, or hell, even in Halo, there is a current pro player that's playing in collegiate. I'm not gonna name drop you. You know who you are, but until it is that system that we see the exact same thing as the NCAA essentially, it's just unfortunately not going to be what it should be and what it could be. There's definitely potential, and there's at least one audience member, Ashes of Complexity, the greatest Gears of War coach of all time. He has been very open, or been very adamant on collegiate teams making content, but to counter your point, Ashes, you might be the only viewer that only person over the thousands of people I've met, you're the only person I've ever met that has said they want to watch collegiate content. So it comes back. I think it comes back down to that as well, where it's because of the not only the skill gap in terms of collegiate and pro league, but also the personality thing. I think is a lot of it too. In collegiate esports, there's not many personalities. A lot of people are really boring. They're either boring, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing either. I'm pretty boring myself. I don't do a whole lot, but there's a lot of people that are just really boring. They just don't want to devote as much as they should to the game, or as much as they could to the games that they play in. There's not enough incentive for the players to be an interesting person, or to pursue it as a career, or even as like a side thing. So I think it goes really deep in terms of why it very likely could never ever work as a system, and it's sad because I mean I've built my life off of collegiate by some miracle, and it's just gonna lead me to being stuck in collegiate probably my whole life, and not anything past that, unless if I meet someone. I had this conversation with Cardi this morning. You don't get anywhere in esports unless you have connections, and collegiate is just right now not that place.
Collegiate's even worse than like normal esports. Like
Exactly.
there's so many roadblocks for a creator to truly like get into the esports scene. And honestly, the only way I could see like collegiate esports content working is if you covered all of collegiate esports.
Yeah,
which is
exactly
incredibly difficult.
Good luck.
Yeah.
There's over 500 teams, and most schools have like 3 or 4 teams for the same title, which is a thing. That's why traditional sports are the way they are. You can only have one. You can.
That's another
technically
thing.
you have 2 teams, but you only have 1 team.
That's another thing I don't like about collegiate esports.
Yeah.
But it's not worth it. Like I recently switched to like more like R6 in general content, and it's already gotten me like 10 times the views that my collegiate esports content was making. And
that's just how it
some of that is I've just become a better creator.
Yeah.
But and it's also, again, it's very hard to understand the niche of collegiate esports. It's a lot easier for me at least, it's a lot easier to understand the niche of R6 in general. So that has just been so much easier and better for me as a creator. So why would I? And honestly, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, just think about your campus in general. How many people on your campus even know you have an esports team? Let alone care about it, let alone play on it. Just how many people could even like name a single game that your esports team has, or that your esports team even has a team.
Yeah. And
just no one really like cares that much. Like the older generations that watch professional esports, it's very fascinating to them. But in college, they don't care about it. It's not,
exactly.
There's nothing like spectacular about college esports.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It's like playing any other
Mm-hmm.
sport in college that isn't like super big like football. Like, cool, you swam in college, but you're not going pro after it. Like,
Exactly.
doesn't
So,
matter.
so to kind of move away from the more depressing
Yeah,
side
that
of
was
all
very
that,
depressing.
apologies if that was too depressing. But I think that's a necessary conversation to be had.
As a
by
player,
people.
go to a school, get your scholarship money.
Have fun.
Yeah, have fun with it. Just
Please.
have it pay for your school, and then get a
You're
job
good.
after it.
Yeah.
Like, just have it pay
Um,
for your school.
Yeah, exactly. So, I actually wanted to ask this earlier, and I completely forgot about it. I was reading it off my notes, but I kind of forgot to ask it regardless. You guys have a charity event this weekend. By the time this gets posted, which should be, I looked at the date. I think it's the 29th, whatever next Wednesday is. These are going to come out every Wednesday. So next Wednesday, this event will have already passed. But this weekend, you guys are playing in a charity event hosted by RMU, benefiting the Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. Do you want to give a bit of a preview? Because I don't know if you've seen the list of teams at the event. It doesn't really matter.
I saw a couple.
Yeah.
I saw like Sam Houston's there.
Mhm.
I actually,
Musk and Gum is playing again.
at least I have nothing wrong with them. It was more. on
Yeah,
us.
that was a whole ordeal. It wasn't even, that was like half our fault, half theirs, half.
It wasn't our
our-
fault. I'll tell you that.
It was an ordeal. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But do you want to like preview the event? Talk about. I mean, I don't know how much you know about the charity, but all that sort of stuff.
I'm gonna be honest. I like playing in tournaments, so I signed
Yeah.
us up.
And we played last year.
Yeah, we played last year. That was the first year of the event.
It was the first time the power has ever gone out in the esports room too.
That's
That's not even a joke. Like that's literally the first time second time power's ever gone out in the esports room. The first time we tripped a breaker over in the other room, but in this room that has the infrastructure, this is the first time the power's ever gone out.
Last year, a representative from RMU reached out to me directly to play in it. It's for a good cause. Charity is always a good thing to play for. Gets the LVC name out there as well. Obviously, it's more games for us to play.
Yep.
But you always get better from playing more games.
And especially, it comes at a great time as activation on Tuesday for you guys. We'll close out activation there. And then the week after is when you start NACE play. You'll have NACE on Thursday of the following week. And then you'll have your NECC regular season matches then as well. So I think definitely comes at a good time as well.
That too,
to
I
get
remember
ready.
last year it was like later in the semester.
I was going to say, I thought it was really late.
Yeah, it was like
last year.
April, I think.
Yeah.
It was like April 1st, I think.
Yeah.
So it being in the early part of the semester is very beneficial to us. Gives us more games against different teams that we would normally never play. Like we're not in any leagues with like Musk and Gum or whatever
Yeah,
other teams.
because I think they play in CR6, right? And Prime Midwest, I think they're in that region.
They are in Midwest.
Yeah, I would assume they're probably in CR6 as well. My guess, but
Yeah.
or that or like NJCAAE or whatever that league is called, whatever. Anyways, moving. Okay, so a good preview there. I was gonna say go watch it, but obviously it's gonna be past by the time this gets up. So whatever.
You should have watched it though.
Yeah. You should have gone back. You should go back in time right now. Go back in time and
Go watch the VODs.
Yeah, they should be up at this point. Moving away from collegiate, that's probably all until closer to the end that we'll talk about collegiate for now. So what is going on with the Rainbow Six Pro scene right now? I say it in the most bland way possible because I don't follow it, so like I don't have a single clue what's happening. Like, is there even events going on? Like,
I'm not gonna lie.
Do you not know either?
I'm not too sure. I know they just. Hold on, let me grab my phone. Because they just announced like rule changes to the global. They call it like the global rule book.
Yeah.
So they just announced changes to it. Oh my god, why is my Twitter blowing up? That's so stupid.
Yeah, but I haven't. Rainbow is like one of the esports I don't follow. I
It's
follow
so like stupid right now.
and that's kind of why I don't follow it. Because like I find the format to be quite boring. I don't know if as an R6 player. Also, I just struggle to understand the game at a good enough level where it's enjoyable to watch. But I mean, that's also coming from me, who's at this point a disillusioned COD player. Like, I don't even watch COD really that much anymore. Like the majors this weekend, I just don't care. Like, it's just, I don't know. R6 has never been a huge thing for me.
Yeah, I think honestly, like, I watch the big tournaments and I watch almost every game day of Pro League.
Yeah, and
But other than that,
even,
I don't know
yeah.
the format, which may sound stupid because how do you not know the format when you watch it all the time? I don't know. I don't pay attention to that.
It is confusing too.
Yeah, there's
I
like
mean,
huge.
you were at
time
SI.
off.
It's like SI is like the only thing that matters because I mean you were there in Toronto, right? Toronto, Montreal,
But it was
last
friggin'
year.
awesome.
Yeah, I can imagine that was an insane experience, especially with it being in Canada. Like going outside the country, probably a really fun event, I'd imagine. Especially because it's like their only event, really. Like, I mean, I know they have like 3 other majors, but like,
Yeah, 2 other majors.
but like SI is like the
Yeah,
event.
it's like it's the World Cup of Rainbow Six.
Exactly.
So I
like,
always explain it to anyone that doesn't know. So think of the World Cup. Now it's just that for my video
yeah,
game.
exactly. It's the same as COD Champs. It's the same as the League of Legends World Championship. I think that has an actual title. I don't remember. It's like TI, all of that stuff.
thought it
Like
was
it's the
Dota.
same thing. Well, TI is Dota, but
Yeah,
going through the list of them there. But yeah, I didn't know if there's like anything important to know or anything
There's
that
a
really
lot
is that
of
meaningful.
time off that pros don't like. Like I'm pretty sure from the Atlanta major, which was in November, which I also went to,
Oh yeah,
to SI, which is a couple weeks away still. There have been no professional level games, which is ridiculous. But and actually that's okay. You can call that a winter break. But the problem is SI should not
it's a
be.
really long break,
It is a long break.
especially going to the biggest tournament of the year, or the I guess the year.
Yeah. And that's like how it wraps up the fiscal year. So that like
Ew.
I know it's weird.
That
The
is-
fiscal years for R6 are very weird. So that like wraps up the year of competition from 2023. So like G2 won the 2023 SI, which happened in 2023, but realistically like that capped off the tournaments from 2022.
Yeah, and then 24 will be
For 23 pretty much.
all that stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, and there's just a lot of off time that a lot of pros don't like. Like
That's
and
understandable.
it hurts the orgs too because the orgs like
They lose money off that.
yeah, and like do you pay your players for
The break
time when they're
and
not
all
working?
that's- Yeah, exactly.
And like at a real job, would you get paid for like teachers? You don't get paid for summer vacation. Why should you as an esports player get paid for your summer vacation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Kind of BS, but that's the big
that's
the big gripe
thing.
that
Yeah.
players and viewers should be complaining about that too.
Yeah.
You're not watching as many games.
All right. So I want to pop out of all of that, and I'm probably gonna close pretty much every show, at least when I do the initial ones with each person, with this sort of theme, I guess. This whatever topic. So, do you want to? It's not me asking. I guess it's kind of just me telling. But how did you get to this point? As in, like we talked about how you started your team, but even before that, how did you get to where you're at today? I asked Tyler this question. He went all the way back to when he was in high school, and he had gotten an injury, and that's how he started playing Rocket League. Kind of similar for you, not the situation, but I mean like my ask is similar of you for that one.
All right. Sometime in 2011, my older half brother AJ, introduced me to Call of Duty Black Ops. That's when I fell in love with video games. At that point, I had just been playing like baseball. Like I play sports, like baseball was my big sport then. So I got into Call of Duty, the old Call of Duties. Awesome, loved it. Got into zombies, really heavily zombies.
Yeah.
I still think Black Ops 3 is my most played game, and I have over 3,500 hours on Siege on PC alone. and another like 2,000 on Xbox. So think about how much I played Black Ops 3 if it's still eclipses that.
Yeah.
Loved Call of Duty Zombies. Like peak gaming for me was always like EE4C happened with Mr. T Lexify, who's doing like the Easter eggs for charity tournament. That was like peak viewing experience for me. I loved that.
That was
like that inspired me to start making content. And obviously I'm like 13 at the time, so I don't really know what I'm doing. So you're just kind of like streaming every now and then, like, oh, I'm playing this, let's stream it. So did that for a couple years, and then 2021, I made a New Year's resolution with myself to really start streaming a lot, like start streaming, like doing all that stuff. So I started streaming a lot. That's like where I started streaming.
Yeah.
And I started to get pretty good at Siege. Like I'm hitting like higher than average rank. I'm hitting like Plat 2, which at the time was like a higher than average rank. So we played that. High school starts wrapping up. I really like making content, but I also really want to swim. So we start looking at colleges, and we're kind of just looking around for places to swim. Didn't ever like really want to compete necessarily. I always wanted to make content, and I still honestly still do. I like competing, but I don't love it. If that makes sense. I've always loved making content, and I've always only liked competing. And maybe that's like annoying to say for people that love to compete, but I just never like it's never like made me care that much.
Yeah, it's just not been your type of
yeah.
thing.
It's like I'm okay with people being better than me, and I know people are better than me. Like, I mean, hell, there's a person on my team that's better than me.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, so I've never like been one of those people, because you always hear competitors, oh, I'm the best in the world. Like, you watch Formula One, every single driver thinks they're the best. Only one of them is.
Yeah.
Like, so that's just like, and sometimes in my brain, I think of that as a delusion that you think you're the best, but it's not. Like, it's you just believe in yourself. So I've never had that mindset. So it's always been hard for me to really love competing, because I'm just not hardwired like that. And that's the thing that really scared me when I joined here. Oh, everyone's probably been competing for so long. And then you realize how like amateur collegiate players are. And that's where collegiate esports really hurts themselves, is because you've just been having people that just play the game rather than people that have competed in the game, which are two different things.
Very different. Very different.
So yeah, then I start the team, lots of hardships through that. First semester, we weren't even allowed in the esports room my first semester.
Yeah, because of COVID. Because
No,
that was.
we just weren't recognized as a team.
Oh no! Yeah, because
We didn't get any room time. Yeah, we didn't get any room time. Not for practice. Not for even when the room was clear. No room time. No game time. So we played all our games in our dorms. Second semester, we were like finally able to convince Elliot to give us like game room time. So we got time for our games. And we played them at the Val computers.
Oh yeah, because
for a little bit, and then we switched to the back. The back is way better. I love the back.
It is. It's actually really.
Try to get my team to want to play in the back, but they don't want to. But it's fine. Just learning, like, esports has been like the big thing that I always take of my time at LVC. That has taught me more than any class has, more than most friendships have. I consider myself to be a pretty like intact person, so you don't learn a lot from classes, because I learn from doing things. So like
learn from experience.
Yeah, so doing like being the captain, being the manager, being a player, being pretty much everything for my team, manager, assistant manager, freaking all that stuff is
There's a mute button for a reason.
Doing all that stuff has really brought me personally where I am today. Is a lot in due to being on a team rather than going to classes. Like, I've learned so much more from a YouTube video. I've learned so much more from being on this team. Like, Plexios is like all the reason I'm like really good at Siege now.
Yeah.
Like, a class will never teach me that. Like, I don't know. A
Yeah.
class will never teach me like how to run a team and how to be personable with people and how to be like affectionate with players and how to run players and how to kind of manipulate people into doing what you want, especially when it needs to be done. Something a class will never be able to teach me. So I don't find too much. What is that called?
Not valid.
Yeah, value. That's exactly what I was trying to find. I don't find too much value from classes rather than the things I do outside of classes.
So you're gonna think I'm mentally insane for saying this. We had a professor.
Well, we can stop there.
He is not far. He is somewhat removed from this school, and he said, "You guys need to." He let us out of class about an hour early. Said, "You guys need to you guys go about your day. I can't teach you. I can't teach you this. I can't really teach you much of anything. What you need to do is you need to go out. You need to experience it for yourself. You need to fail at it yourself, and that is how you're going to learn." Do you want to know who that professor was?
Who?
Do you want to take a guess first? Matthew Samuel. Freshman year. Digital graphic design. I will remember that for probably the rest of my life.
I have a very
You might think-
memorable thing with Matthew Samuel that I'm
You-
definitely not allowed to talk about.
No,
But that definitely
Yeah.
sounds like him, and he's done very similar stuff like for my class.
yeah.
And
He,
he's fucking right. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Like I don't. You can teach me things in a book. I don't care. If I ever need it, I'll look it up on Google.
Yeah, and of all guys to have told you that, not the head of the department, not the assistant head of the department, not the president of the school, not anyone, but just another professor at this school
Some random
That-
dude, pretty much.
that taught here for maybe 3 years, doesn't even teach here anymore, and probably will never teach again. I think that says enough about that. Then I think that says more about the value of it all, especially of experience as a whole, compared to what you're ever able to learn in the classroom. It's not the fault of any professor ever. It's not. Sometimes it is, but it's pretty rare. It's the fault of the professor.
More
It's
the
just
system,
life.
yeah.
That's just life. You learn through experience. I've learned a million things through experience. I've experienced some things in my life that are not ideal. I use that term to describe our room flooding. I also use it to describe some really terrible times in my lifetime. Not ideal, but
I just say it's
That's-
downright shitty.
yeah. Well, that happens too. And when the time comes, you use that as your terminology. So the last thing, and we can end on this, after I do, or before I do the outro. You're a junior in college right now. Obviously, you have another year to go through classes and your team and all that other shit. So, not only what are your goals with this next year being your last year, but what is your outlook on basically everything going into this final year after, and even the rest of the semester? What is all of that looking like in every aspect of it?
Oh, I think the big thing is I'm really trying to enjoy the things I like more than dislike the things I dislike. I believe in a balance of feelings in my life, and last semester there is a very, very, very big imbalance of things I liked versus things I disliked in life, and it made my life very, very technical and terrible and downright shitty. So I think just really, really trying to hang on. I feel like everyone's trying to hang on, so I'm no different in that. But just really trying to enjoy the things I enjoy and to like the things that I dislike a little bit more. Obviously, I'll always hate doing certain things, but just kind of figuring out how much you can hate that stuff. and kind of keeping a positive mindset. That was one of my big New Year's resolutions this year, was to be a happier person and really find the good in some things. And I've been really tested with our dorm flooding.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, and
I've been failing on that the past like couple days, but we're getting back into a groove of it, and it's a daily process. It's every minute, every second, every hour, every day. You can feel good one day, you can feel shitty the next, and that's something that I'm trying to work on, is just liking life more. I've always kind of been a pessimist and not really a fan of life. I think that's what Big Favela would say, too. So just kind of enjoying life more and finding the good in life. Just kind of chilling out. Another thing like esports, like stop caring that I go 1-17 or not top frag, stuff like that. Because that has been one of the bigger things. And the same with swimming, and that's why I had to step away from swimming at LVC. Was it just became more than I knew how to fix at the time. And it just pushed me away from the sport too. Like, there's one thing about fixing like mistakes you've made, but if you just don't even want to be in that environment, there's no reason to be there. Like, my situation with swimming, I just didn't like swimming anymore. It wasn't, oh, I don't like the team, I don't like this, I don't like that. But it became so bad that it just turned me off from swimming as a sport. And that's just, you can't fix that. Like,
that's just how life is.
Yeah. So I think the big thing is, a big goal in my life is to continue my relationship with my girlfriend and progress.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I said that with Tyler last week too. I hope so.
Yeah. We have very big plans for ourselves, which I will not say publicly, but we have very big plans and want to follow those plans to the best that we can. Obviously, nothing ever really goes to plan, so as you know that pretty well.
Oh,
yeah, I think just chilling out. Life is already hard. I'm trying not to make it harder for myself, when I've always made it harder for myself. So I'm trying to fix that, kind of just be happier, pursue things that I want to pursue, and not really have. I always have felt like I've had to listen to the adults in my life. So I'm kind of I'm in my rebellious phase. I'm fighting back a bit.
Well, now you are the adult in your life.
Exactly. That is literally, I was sitting in bed at 3 a.m. one night, and that's exactly what I thought of. I was like, I can realistically do whatever the hell I want. And you can say that to yourself a million times, but I would never truly believe it. But now, I believe it a lot more. I'm becoming a lot more spontaneous. I used to always shut down if it wasn't on my schedule for the day, and do stuff like that. So that's another thing. I think that DoorDashing is the stupidest thing ever. DoorDashing has helped me become more spontaneous, because I can just click a button and frickin' go. Hello, how does that help you? You think, oh, how does your job help you and stuff like that? It's stupid stuff like that. You'll never really understand how something can help you until it helps you.
Yep.
Even playing guitar, I suck. I'm terrible, but
I know. I am aware. So are Bryce and Ben.
I suck and I'm terrible, but even just practicing for 10 minutes, it just helps me out. It's so stupid. You can't even play. It's just I don't know. It's just nice.
It's not stupid, because in life you have.
It's not stupid because it helps me, but from the outside perspective, some people you could be judgy and think it's stupid. That's what I should be saying.
Yeah. In life, you have to. Not only do you have to teach yourself things, life basically is finding out who the hell you are for about 100 years, and then finally, at the end of it all, you just have to think about what you've done, think about who you are as a person, and just say, did I succeed in what I wanted to do? And for everyone, to be fair, or for most people, hopefully that answer is yes. For people with nefarious things, I really hope that answer is no. But for the normal person, I hope that answer is yes. And you sometimes can't just spend a few months. You have to spend your entire damn life figuring out what the hell you want to do. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna be 50 years old. And I'm still not gonna know what I'm doing when I wake up the next morning. That's okay. That's how it is. Sometimes you don't get to choose what you want to do. Sometimes you don't get to choose anything that comes to you in life. And how you deal with it is what makes you better as a person, what makes you a better understanding of other people, and it's what makes you who you are. So if you're able to wrap all of that up and present it to others in a way that it is good-willed and good-spirited, then I think you've done what you've set out to achieve in life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. The only solid thing in my life has been video games, and even
They'll be
then,
here forever.
it's not even like that solid. Like there were times, like I could say, oh, the only solid thing has been Rainbow Six, but that's not even true. Like I've taken long breaks from the game. I never even like my senior year of high school. If it weren't for playing Siege collegiately, I had no intention of playing the game again.
Yeah.
And it made me fall back in love with it. And now I've done so many things that I'm like proud of in the game. Like obviously winning all these trophies, playing on a team, getting paid to play on a team is awesome. And like a personal thing, like hitting champion, the highest rank, is a big thing for me. But it's like, and the people I've met through the game is incredible. But yeah, like I've always known that I've had to teach myself, but it never really hits you until it's something that you really, really don't know. What you need to learn or what you need to teach. Because I've always like with swimming, it's like, okay, you need to learn this technique and you can teach it yourself because you know what it looks like. But like, like you don't know how to teach yourself how to deal with like grief or like depression or like anxiety, stuff like that. Like it's a constant learning process. And my biggest thing is that people will sit there and say to me, oh, but you're not a person that likes learning because you don't like to be in a classroom. Like you don't like college, so you can't possibly be someone that wants to learn. And I argue that is just so completely false that I don't even understand how you could think that way. Because I'm constantly learning things, like learning how to play guitar, learning how to deal with friendships, learning what to do with you. Nothing. That's the problem. You haven't done anything. Learning how to deal with my room flooding. Learning how to live with other people my age that don't necessarily think like me or maybe aren't exactly me, and that's fine. Like there's nothing. Learning how to live with another person in the same room as them. Like a traditional roommate at college. Just learning nutrition, learning better habits, learning how to create better habits for yourself so that you set yourself up for the most successful life. Like that stuff is freaking hard. You don't know how to teach yourself, and you don't know what you need to teach yourself to do that. It's all like, and that's the big thing. I think that is learning. I don't sit there in a classroom listening to some 40, 50, 60-year-old dude or woman that just, did this stuff for 16 years and got a piece of paper that says they know what they're doing when they don't know what I've been doing. It's just not applicable to me, and I don't care for it. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I'm a very learning person. I just not in the traditional sense.
Yeah, and we all are. We all learn somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Just different based on who you are as a person. So that's where it comes down to. But with that, what we will do is we will wrap this thing up. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, I'll say this week in and week out, you're going to get annoyed with me saying this, but it means the world to me. You'll see probably in April, or here, if you're one of the listeners. If you're one of the listeners on the LV website, which is wild to me. I never thought I'd see the day of that. But thank you guys for watching it or listening. It means the world to me. Really appreciate it. Again, in April, you'll hear what the full version of that, go follow us on Twitter and Instagram at LVC_esports on both those platforms. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. Of course, we're doing these weekly, so be prepared to see that. Try put YouTube shorts out when we have actual matches going on. I've decided I'm not going to do anything for activation, so give myself a bit more time to prepare with game clips and stuff like that, and figuring out how I want to go about it. So we will have those coming out in a few weeks, hopefully. And yeah, thank you guys, and we will see you guys next week when I bring on, to be determined, because I don't know off the top of my head. Maybe Ben. We'll see. Catch you guys later.